Hello guys, Luca from the Underwater Tribe. How are you doing today? So I'm back here with another tutorial for you. Today we're gonna talk about Lightroom, and especially we're gonna talk about workflow. So I have already launched Lightroom here, and before we get right there, I want to tell you something. So generally my workflow would be like this. Okay, so at the end of the day, you're gonna have, let's say, a memory card. And what I do is I try to bring enough storage and enough memory cards for myself to do the entire trip. So I'm gonna have, let's say, my first roll of original files always on the memory card. I don't like to format again the card during the shoot. So if you're on a professional shoot, definitely you should do like this. You should not format the cards, but have enough cards for you to fill them up until the end of the shoot. So you're gonna have always a copy in here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, even like at the end of a dive or at the end of the first shoot, plug it inside the laptop and I'm gonna back it up inside to an external hard drive, okay? So once I will come back home, I will have two copies. One in my memory card, and the other one will still be in my external hard drives, and that's quite safe. And then after that I will create even a further backup where I'm going to put all that material into my storage unit, and then just when I will have finished and make sure that all my roll has been let's say properly checked and everything, I will then format the card and use them for the next shoot. Okay, so for this exercise, right now I don't have my storage, main storage unit over here at the office. So what I did is I just pass from memory card into my external hard drive, and that's what I would do on location. So right now I would start to be working on those images that are on my external hard drive. There we go. Oh, look at that, with the fancy green screen on the back. Actually, I'm in the world of Lightroom right there. And what I'm gonna do now in Lightroom, I'm gonna say import, and then my hard drive is called pick backup. Okay, and I'm gonna say yes, this one. Okay, these are the images, and these images I was actually on a location with Mike here in Bali. And this is from an abandoned theme park here in Bali, and it's a fantastic location with lots of graffiti. There are already few things here that I can see in the import tab right there. So first of all, here you see that I'm not copying the pictures over there, but I'm actually adding them. You see that add is highlighted. If it's not add highlighted, do that, add, because you don't want to change the location of these photos. You don't want to import them into your main machine over here, because then they're gonna load your hard drive and the whole system is going to be slow. Now, before I add them there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deselect those pictures that I'm already able to see from here that are not worth working with. So sometimes the one underexposed, like if you see here the first picture over there, okay, you know, camera nowadays are so good in low light that you might do not want to actually unclick the one underexposed, okay, because maybe you bring up the exposure afterwards and you can create some artsy-fartsy kind of picture. But the one that you clipped overexposed, like these two over here, definitely I'm not gonna bring them into my catalog, so I do uncheck them. Let's see if there is anything like that. These are underexposed, everything recoverable here, like that. And then this one here, I can tell that my face is not that nice either, so I uncheck that. I'm not gonna take that. So I'm gonna have, let's say, a rough view before I import them and deselect the one that I don't like. Here it allows me to say, okay, where do you want to add them? To my catalog. The catalog is basically it's the library where all my pictures are on Lightroom. Yes, it already gives me a chance to, let's say, add it to a collection. So let's say over here, let's say that I have a collection which is called Bali, like that. That would be good, let's say, to have one of those, for instance. So when I want to see pictures from Bali, I can just go to the collection and all the pictures from Bali come. I do not have such a collection at the moment, so I just keep it unchecked. And then develop setting, things like that, metadata. What you can do here, for instance, is adding, let's say, your copyright to the metadata file, the file embedded to your photos, and keywords. That's quite important step to do actually, because keywords allows you to do some search into your library. So I definitely would write something like abandoned theme park, press enter. That's one of the key, or comma, and then I add another one, which is Bali, and then top sites, and then tutorial, because I was shooting a tutorial back then when I was doing this. Few keywords that help you remember, that are about the shoot, and eventually you will remember and you will be able to track those back. Okay, so press enter to select that, and I'm gonna go to import. Again, they're not moving the pictures are staying in the external drive, but they're gonna be added to your catalog over there. The thing that we're gonna do now is we stay in the library mode over here, okay, which is the one where Lightroom places you right after import, and we're gonna sort them out, and we're gonna choose which one we're gonna keep and which one we're gonna remove, okay, and delete, okay. So first of all, right now we do a little bit more of a scanning, so we want to see nicely the picture. So I changed the preview from the thumbnails to over here. I press and I have a full review. So this one was the first picture that we were saying before, like, and I said like, okay, it's totally underexposed. Sometimes I took a shot which was like similar to this in the past, and let's say that was the only shot, for instance, of a mola mola popping up in Nambon Bay one of those days, down at 40 meters, and I was shooting a Renopia, and all of a sudden a mola mola came, and I just went there, I did boom without checking my settings, and I got a picture like that. And then look, by bringing back up the exposure all the way 5 stops, I'm actually able to recover. So that's why before I told you, like, when you start to deselect those pictures, just deselect the one that are blown out, so the overexposed, not the one that are totally underexposed. How many of you back there have ever had a totally underexposed picture and is been able to recover it this way? So I see the next picture is already properly exposed, so what I would do in this case, to the first one, I go and press X, and look what happened when I press X. It says set as reject, and if you go to check here in my roll here, okay, let's go to another picture, you see that the first picture now is gray out, so that means it's been rejected. Okay, cool. Now I will do exactly the same thing there and go through quickly through all of them, and I'm gonna put those X's to all the photos that I'm pretty much sure that at the first glance I'm not going to keep. So I'm going to be quite fast in this process. So I go to right, okay, this one looks pretty good. This one is very similar. Later on I will inspect them out. This is okay, similar, it's good exposed. That's very similar to the previous one. So let's start to remove some of them. X, that's good, that's X. All right, both of them. Okay, let's see if I'm gonna get banned here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, because of this artifact over there. And then definitely this one is overexposed. Up here you see the howl is gone. X for me on that. This one, okay, what was that about? Nothing really that I want to keep. Let's see, like that. X, not interested in this picture. X, this one. X, I don't care about that. That's another view with again our little thing over there. All right, maybe I choose the wrong roll over here to do that. Okay, these are both. This one actually shows a little bit the bottom part. I will keep that, and I would be able to remove this little thing here. So here we go. X, this one here, it's definitely underexposed, so I put an X on that, I put an X. Now I'm gonna go very quickly. Here you see that I start to expose better. I like here there was the leaves in the front, here not, so I go back, X again. And then let's keep that, let's keep this. Oh, this one unfortunately was out of focus, X. And then here, oh, look at that, nice face there. I gotta keep that. That's for Mijo to print it very huge in the house. And I like this, it gives a little bit of scenery here, like maybe my new profile picture for Facebook. I'm gonna keep that. This one is out of focus, so definitely is an X. Okay, here I'm in focus, I keep them. Okay, here I'm overexposed, X. Like that. And then here looks like I'm a bit soft over there too, so X. And here also X because I'm a bit soft. This one, zoom in into the eye, you can see here that I'm also soft, so it's an X. And then here the focus is somewhere on my nose. I'm gonna place, let's see. Now, I'm running out of option here. I have only last two pictures. So before I put an X on this, I go to the next one and I say, okay, this is sharper. So I will keep this one. I'm gonna X this one. So let's say that in the case that they were both still very soft, what I would have done, let's say, if you're gonna post this, let's say on Instagram or something, is a picture that you like, even if it's a little bit soft, it won't be really that noticeable. That's why I wanted to make sure before, and I didn't want to delete that right away. Okay, next, this looks sharp to me. Okay, here we are underexposed, definitely X. Let's see what happens if I bring up the exposure in here. Okay, right, I'll keep that. Okay, very similar, X. This one, yeah, I look like somebody, I look very serious there. Okay, all right, what do I look like? In the comments, please. Let's see how funny you are. Let's go. And then this one, I like the background, so I'm gonna keep it. Here I'm a bit soft, X, tangle, lots of pictures of me over there. This one, here you can see, I press, you can see the red spot over here. That means that I clip the highlights, so that's an X, bye-bye. This next picture was very similar, also X, and then here we have one which is properly exposed, and we're gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep that, I look like suffering. Here I still look like suffering, I was probably getting enough of getting shot. That's probably very recoverable, so I keep it. And this is soft, so I want to get rid of all those pictures where definitely they're out of focus, are not usable. Okay, like last one over here is also, let's see, zoom in, yeah, you see on my eye, I'm not focused, so that's it. X. Right, guys, so it is very important to do this sort of sorting out, because if you never do that and you always, just put from your memory card into your hard drives and then eventually to your backup storage, they all roll every and each time. If you shoot a lot, you're gonna end up having, like a library with 100,000 pictures in there, and at the end of the day, you probably all you need in there is maybe 5,000, like really like the best of your best of work. And so, like I was saying before, like me, I haven't been doing this at the beginning, let's say, of my photography career, and I started to build up tons of hard drives with lots of files that today, having the time, I start to go through all of them. And there is really so much rubbish into it, and so many pictures out of focus, and the one that you would never keep. So it's quite important to have, let's say, this routine, and at the end of the day, still when you are on location and you're fresh with the shoot in your mind, go through your roll and start to get rid of the one that you don't really need. Okay, so I press X on all the one that I didn't need, and now here on the bottom right where there is filter, I go there and I say, show me the one that are flagged. Because over here in the filter area over here, you have to tell which sort of flag. Now maybe here in the small screen you cannot see it, but when you have it on Lightroom, if you check, like the first one has a check mark, which means like they're the good ones. The second one means no flag, and the third one is the X. So I press the X over there. Okay, and now it's just showing me the reject pictures over there. Okay, and now I am 100% sure that I am not going to keep these pictures here. Okay, that's for sure, 100%. So what I'm going to do on a Mac, I hit Command Delete. Okay, on a PC it's probably Control Delete or Control Backspace, one of the two. And then he asks me, okay, what do you want to do? You see that it highlights in blue the first one, which means remove. Okay, this action will just remove them from my library on Lightroom, but keep them into my hard drive. Okay, or it asks me, do you want to delete them from the disk? And I say, hell yeah, I don't want to keep those, because what was all this work for, you know? And I delete them from the disk. And remember, I told you at the beginning, if by mistake you delete that picture of that special encounter of the dinosaurs in the middle of the forest and the jungle, so you will be still able to recover it because you did not delete your file from your memory card from the camera. We deleted it from disk. Bang! Bye-bye. They're all gone. And now you see I have nothing in there because I need to go back here and then I need to say filters off, and then I'm back with my roll. Okay? Now it's time to select those that you think are your winner. So the best pictures of your roll. Okay? And now I will be very, very quick. Probably one of these at the beginning, they're all very similar. I will zoom in 1 to 1 and you go up here in the navigator. In case your navigator is selected like that, you can just open up the navigator and you have now fit, which fits in this window, or you can go 1 to 1. And there you go, check this out. At 1 to 1 is actually a little bit soft. So this one become an X. Let's see the previous one. Also is quite soft. That's an X too. And this one also is quite soft. And here, oh, that's sharp. So that's definitely, it's my pick. And guess what? You got to press the letter P on your keyboard and it comes flag as pick. So check this out over here on my roll on the bottom. Right now there is a little white flag up there. The one that I just rejected is got an X. You see here the flag, and here it's got a white flag. And check, if I go to another picture, the one with the white flag actually has also a white frame around it. So that's my pick for this shoot. I will definitely keep that. Now let's go back to the next one and see if this one is sharp. Okay, yes it is. This guy is sharp. And the guy next to it is sharp, and I don't mind about, oh, look at that, take it away. Sorry again. So I will remove this one in Photoshop because I want to have this nice shot here of them side by side. Now this one is also, I will remove that. I'm gonna keep it only if it's sharp. Yes, that's sharp, so I'm gonna keep that. And I don't need the next one. This one has got this goose thing underneath. I don't want to take away from this, so that's another X. So right now you see I'm actually scanning that film roll. I'm actually going a little bit more into detail which one I want to work on later on in the future and which one really I want to get rid of. Okay, to be honest, this picture here, I don't know why I even take it. I don't really like this graffiti. I don't like this angle at all, so that's another X. But you see, I do this on the second pass. On the first one, I still went very quickly through it and I decided to actually keep it. Okay, on the second one is when I'm checking more in details what I want to do. And this is what I suggest you to do. Don't do only one time. Do it few times because you will see more in your pictures. The second one, because you have less images, you will be scanning more. So that's actually the way that you should be doing. All right, and here also the same one, I don't like that. So I put another X, and this one definitely I'm not gonna keep it. Okay, here. Oh, so you see before I had a bunch of pictures like this. Okay, this one, I almost look like I'm a little bit constipated over there, like by keeping this expression like that. So definitely X. Bye-bye, Luca, you're not gonna stay in that. Okay, this one I like it. I look serious. Oh, I look scary, you know, like that. But from out, it's a little bit better. So let's say I keep that. And the second one, I like this one better. Okay, it's a little bit soft in the eye, but let's see if I have a better one next. Yes, this one is very similar shot, and I'm better here. So again, I scan this time, so I can get rid of the previous one with a nice X, and keep the next one. This one that I look a little bit of a psycho, and this one that I look more like a serious person here. Okay, this one, let's scan. Okay, a little bit soft. Okay, maybe this is better, but I don't look as good. I really like the blur going on this one here. So I might actually keep this one and do, let's say, later on a little bit of an artsy-fartsy develop on this image, even if it's a little bit soft. Who cares? It's good enough to put it on a screen. I'm really looking, let's say, for those peak. And I think before this image, where this one was with the one I was looking a little bit like a psycho. Yeah, this one. I like this one with the graffiti on the back, so I put a P in there. So now we got two images we can work together on. There it is. That one I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna put a P in there because I really like this madness going back there. And let's see what we can do with that later on, okay? And so on. I keep going, and now I have already probably, okay, here these are similar. Here I look a bit soft on the eyebrow here is sharper, so I keep the second one, X on the first one. There you go, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that. All right, this one is gone. Doom. I look like a psycho, so it's gone. This is better. I'm gonna put a P in there. And then here, that's okay. All right, that's closer. Let's put a P on that. And then this one, I don't know, I look like a little bit sleepy. Let's remove that. And here I look a little bit more friendly. I just keep it there, just in case. I put an X on that. I don't know why I did put an X. Okay, this one is the only one that I have of this guy over here. There is a little bit, it could be a P if I want to work on it. Let's say if it was one. Here I had the sun in my eye. Okay, all right, so you got it. So you're gonna go with X and P basically through your roll, okay? Now let's get rid of all those X's again. Like that, it tells me, look, 14 images again. That's all space you can have on your storage unit afterwards. And you would say, you know what, I can buy more storage. Yes, you can do that. But when are you going to go back and check those pictures again if they're not, let's say, your favorites, okay? Lightroom also gives you another way to rate your pictures by stars, you know, like, and it goes from 1 star to 5 stars. Okay, now let's say that you have 5 star, a 4 star, and a 3 star. What you could do in that way, let's say, if you're, let's say, a professional and you're going to use your pictures for different kind of work, you could place, let's say, a 5 star, your image that you say, okay, if I decide to sell this image is the best of the whole roll, so I'm gonna set a certain price on it. Okay, that's my 5 star, okay? Now the 4 stars, they could be the one that they are still publishable, let's say in a magazine or something like this, and you decide, let's say, okay, these are great images, okay, it's not the best of the series, but they're great images, so they're very much publishing material. I'm gonna keep that on 4 stars, that they can go over there. And then I'm gonna keep, let's say, a 3-star rating, and then I'm gonna say, let's say, the 3-star rating, you know what, is not what I would send to a magazine to publish, to showcase my work, but they're very good, let's say, for so that we are still talking about sharp images of good quality, okay? So after you do all this, so they're still very good images, and you think about, you know what, the 3-star rating pictures, I'm gonna put them and sell them, let's say, on stock images online, for instance, Shutterstock or Alamy and so on, and you start to make, let's say, a little money on those just by having everybody downloading them online or something like that. So that's a good way to use the rating system, okay? Right here, delete from disk, yes. And I show you how you do the rating. So let's say that my pics over here are the 5 stars. So this one, this picture here of me, I don't want to give it to anyone, it's the best. If somebody wants to get this photo, will have to pay a ton of money. I give a 5 star. I just pressed the number 5. That's 5 star. If you want to give it a 3 star instead, you press number 3. 1 star, press number 2 or 1. I don't know why they have 1 and 2, really. Like I don't see any other use, you know, like other than the one that I told you before. But if you know any other use, please let me know in the description of this tutorial. You know, like I'm not making it perfect. I'm just showing you, let's say, my way. That was a 5 star for me. Definitely need to pay lots of money if you want to do this. Okay, so now let's take a few images. And let's say that you already went through 3-4 times doing your X's and P's, and now what you want to do is work on your P's. Okay, so I would go here and I would go, let's say, on my flagged. Okay, and now you just have the one that you picked, the one that you pressed the P, and this one are the one that you want to work. At this stage, let's say that you have many more pictures than the one that I have right now. At this stage, what you could do is actually go and rate them like I was saying before. Let's say 5 stars for the one that you want to really keep eventually being fine art to print, a 4 star for the one that are your best, that you would be even happy to publish, or let's say all of the sudden somebody contact you on Facebook and they said, oh, we want to feature you. You can use those 4-star rating. And I would place, let's say, the 3 star to the one that then I will export and upload for online selling on those online stock libraries. All right, so right now I want to work on these images and let's see what I can do. I want to take this one, which was not one of the best, but I really liked this craziness going on in the background. So this image was shot at f1.2, as you can see on the top left here, with a shutter speed of 1/320 of a second. ISO 360 is a little bit underexposed, as you can see here in the histogram. Is a little bit, the mountain that you see here is a little bit to the left. Generally, an evenly exposed image would have a mountain which is somewhere with the peak in the middle, somewhere there. And you can see here now we recover a little bit of an exposure. However, a little bit to the left is always good, but a little bit to the right and not so good. The lens we were using for this shoot, the 50mm Nikkor f1.2, fantastic lens. You can find those on eBay. If you go to look for those lenses on eBay, guys, make sure that you pick the one coming from Japan, because as you know, Japanese are very precise people and they keep them in a very good, immaculate way. You can see at 1.2 become very, very soft, and it gives you this incredible bokeh on the background here. Look how creamy it is. Beautiful. Look at the balls here of the bokeh and so on, but it's very hard to get that critical focus. In fact, here we had to take a little bit, a couple of more shots to be able to get the nice shot. And at 1.2 is a little bit soft everywhere, which some people like, some people don't like. Okay, all right, cool. Let's see what we can do a little bit with this image. So first of all, I would like to bring up the exposure, general exposure a bit, because it looks a little bit under. Here we go. Cool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna give a little bit of contrast, and I give contrast with my curve here, and I change the point curve. I change it from linear to medium. Bam, it gave a little bit of contrast into it. Now this side here is a little bit, as you can see, brighter than the other side. It's a little bit too bright to my like, you know, my neck over here. So I could change that by bringing down the highlights, because the highlights is going just to check, is going to affect only the brightest part of the photo. But you can see my skin gets better than it was before, see, whereas my face changed a little bit, but it does change. Okay, so let's say that I don't want to do it that way. Let's see another way that I could do to just darken this side. I can take a gradient filter, okay, and I click on that. So what's up here, I click on that and I drag it on a side, and you can see now it's making darker just one side of it. Okay, and is doing that dark because my exposure is all the way down to -4. My saturation is also down to 0, so I want to keep the colors in there, okay? And then I want to keep the white balance as shot. So is there somewhere like as a shot? No. I reset it, so I double click on those, so it doesn't change my colors. And then the exposure, now I can play to my likes. And okay, let's see, somewhere there. So you see just a tiny bit. I went down -0.74, okay? I press return on the keyboard twice to close also the panel, and here I am. Now, generally, when you're shooting faces like this, you want to have a little bit, you want to keep it soft, your shot. So you don't want to go, like, say, clarity, you know, too much. You see what happened to the skin? Like, it burned the whole picture in here. Also, like, you don't want it too sharp, you know, like texture. Look at that. I just aged 10 years with a movement. So check this out. All right, this was a shot, and now I got texture. Bang! I became just 10 years older. Here we go. And clarity too, you know, like that's what it does. You know, guys, something that I really like to do when I use the sliders is actually to bring them all the way to one side, to the other side. So once I want to check my shadows, I check first, okay, bring it all the way, and then I bring it back to my liking, somewhere there. So I wanted to increase the shadows a little bit without watching what I'm doing. I'm just watching the image, but to see what they really do all the way. Vibrance and saturation, this I love it. What's the difference? They look very similar as sliders and so on. So the difference is that the vibrance does sort of equalize all your colors. So now let's say that here the purple is already very saturated, but let's say the skin tone is not as much saturated. So what it would do is, like, the vibrance, by increasing it, it would just bring up the colors that are not saturated enough. And the ones that are already saturated, too much saturated, would leave them alone. So the good way to use these two sliders is to increase a little bit the vibrance to equalize, okay? And then eventually bring down the exposure a little bit. Just a tiny bit, okay? Don't do these things all the way, plenty of saturation and plenty of vibrance. It's not gonna work like that, okay? Unless you're really creating, let's say, some Andy Warhol sort of look, don't do that, okay? And then it works well in small screen, but definitely not on big screen. So vibrance up, yes, look, the background is coming alive, okay? Up, and then, but look, my skin tone. If you notice my skin tone, it doesn't change as much as the background. So they work out those algorithms in the software so that they do not affect too much the skin tones, even if you go, let's say, all the way to the right, which is fantastic. I can bring really my background up. All right, and then eventually I bring down a little bit the saturation. Okay, wow, I went all the way to 82 because check the colors back here. So it's something that you really want to show. Now, if you see over here the top cut, it looks like it looks like almost is fake, this graffiti in front, because of the top there. So maybe what we could do is, like, we could crop a little bit this shot. Like that. Somewhere there. Okay, and I cut out that distraction. All right, and then let's finish by giving, there is already a little bit of amount of sharpening, so I don't need to do much on it, okay. Let's see if we have any chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration are actually lines that in the highlights, they show blue or purple, no. And even if we shot something like this, you see around my ears that I have this line, which is purple here. That's chromatic aberration. You can remove that by clicking here. Okay, you reduced it a little bit. Or you can do that even, let's say, enable profile correction, sorry. Manually, here, you press on manual, and you can go on the color purple a little bit more. Okay, and it's creating me a double ear. No, because this lens was very soft, I cannot get really rid of this without making a mess, so I rather keep it than make a mess. Okay, here it is. Cool, let's quickly export, go back to the library. There we go, and I'm gonna export. All right, now for this exercise, I'm gonna put it in my, I choose a folder and put it on my desktop, which is a mess right now, a little bit, and I'm gonna put it into profile pictures. Okay, there you go, and rename to, I'm gonna call it Luca profile pic theme park, because if I call them all profile pic, then on my drive I'm gonna have lots of, so I add theme park to it, so it will be a little bit different. And then I want to export it for screen, so over here I make sure that I click on resize to fit, long age 1920, so that will be the longer age, so the bottom part of the age will be 1920 pixel, and that 1920 pixel is basically HD quality. So I want it definitely HD. Resolution, if you were printing it, you would put, let's say, 300 in here, but for screen 72, it's plenty of resolution. So even if somebody will then want to, let's say, right click and save your photos and print it for himself, he won't have the best resolution for it, and he won't be able also like to change much of the colors if he wants to do some adjustment. Okay. Watermark, you can add a simple watermark, or you can add a logo to it. Right now I don't care about a watermark on my profile photos, so I will keep it like this. If you want to learn about how to make watermark, on our YouTube playlist we have actually a very good tutorial made by Mike, how you can add a watermark to your image to protect your work, let's say for your website and so on. Okay, so right now I'm gonna export. Over here, export, okay, and let's close this, and let's go here on my Finder. Over there we put it on the desktop, so I should have profile pictures, the folder that I created, and there is my photo. All right, let's see if I'm gonna expose something here by going into my profile. There you go, time to update my profile picture and upload a photo, and I'm gonna go to that desktop, where is profile pictures here, Luca profile picture, choose, I probably have to drag it and reposition it a little bit, here I am, and there you go, I got my new profile photo. Da-da-da-da! There you go, nice colors on the background. Thank you very much to Mr. Mike Peach for taking this picture of me and giving me a new profile photo for Facebook. It was time actually to change it. Okay, that's all for today, guys. If you want to get an Underwater Tribe t-shirt, my microphone, with this beautiful logo in the back, right there, is on the t-shirt too. You can get it, is in the link of the description of this live stream of all our tutorials. And if you want to contribute to this channel, you can buy us a coffee. We've created there a link that you can give, let's say, a small donation by credit card, and you can buy us basically a coffee. Okay, and that's all, guys. So I hope you enjoyed today, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Goodbye, everyone.